y'all. So we know we can't talk about the benefits of Scrumban and the differences between Kanban, Scrum, and Scrumban without talking about how do we do that? How can we coach you into implementing Scrumban in your teams? First, let me tell y'all too, this is a team effort with these videos, okay? I've got myself that's doing the delivery of the messages, but I also have two of my fabulous peers, Richard Core, who's a YouTuber, so y'all should check him out, Evolving Angelist, and Judith Rhodes, who's also a coach and has her own channel that gets more into some of the spacious types things that some of us don't get into, with like building the speakers and building simulations and those types of things. So y'all should check her out as well. But Judy provided me with a lot of good content to share with you all, and Richard is doing the editing of the videos for us. So thanks to them, and I definitely am grateful to you guys. So make sure you don't cut that part out, Richard, because I have to give kudos where it's earned and where it's due, okay? According to my mom and my daddy and how I was raised. So stick with that. So now, how do I Scrumban? I won't get into the details of the first two nuggets, but enough for you to know you have to understand the Scrum framework. You also have to understand the Kanban flow and the intention behind Kanban. I'm going out on a limb again, right? Y'all heard me say it in another video, but you should have roles within your Scrumban team identified, but make it make sense. Let it be comprehensible, and with having your responsibilities for those roles identified. They may not be traditional, and that's okay. If it works for you and it works for the team, then it works. Then it makes sense. Can't anybody tell you otherwise? One other thing that's important is have a healthy intake process, y'all. You just don't know how many teams we work with where they getting stuff from all over the place, from the walk-up traffic to the emails to the IMs to the cell phones to the conversations coming through other people and everything else. We need to stop that nonsense. That's nothing but chaos. Try to have a funnel. Minimize the number of intake processes for your team. Do some value stream identification, do some value stream mapping, whatever is necessary for you to zone in on the processes you have in place so that you could start minimizing and reducing the waste, eliminating the waste, and have one place where your product owner or that person that's playing as the product owner can go and they can realistically triage the work and be efficient about it versus having to go to 3, 4, 5 different places to see what's being requested of the team. A healthy work intake process, if you don't have a healthy one, take the time up front to create one and make sure you communicate it out so that other folks can start practicing and aligning to that, because it does take several months for people to change their habits from how they used to work with your team and communicate with the team to how you're requesting that they change their habits, okay? So give people that grace and that time. Working agreements within the team. You might need to sit back and do some team chartering, some team building, and establish what y'all's working agreements are going to be. Because remember, you're taking two processes and two methodologies, and you're combining them to work for y'all. So agree on what within Scrum y'all are going to subscribe to, and what within Kanban y'all are going to subscribe to, and what y'all are going to adapt just because it's going to be your own thing that you could do. And why, like Tabitha Brown says, because it's your business. So do it, right? Okay. Next, have a prioritized backlog of your planned work ready. I usually like to work with product owners or the people acting in that product owner role 3 months ahead of when we plan to go live with the team and moving into an agile operations model. And those 3 months is to really help build up the muscle for product owners and for them to be proactive in reaching out to their business units to understand the work that's coming down the pipeline, and not necessarily and moving away from that reactionary mode that we find ourselves in before we're in an op model. It also gives a product owner time to understand the reality behind how time consuming being an active product owner really is, because you can't always rely on your developers and their expertise with products to be able to help you in creating user stories and epics or features, themes, initiatives, whatever level of the hierarchy that you want to call out. The other piece is to have a prioritized list of the unplanned work that may organically fall into the high and critical swim lanes on your Scrumban board. If you go along with the suggestion that I shared earlier, where you take your unplanned work and you ask yourselves, can this unplanned work become planned work? Then you'll have a tendency where you start seeing those items that you answer no to, they truly are high critical items. So have that prioritized. And then finally, capacity planning. Finally, for this part of the video, because there's going to be some more things to help you out on how to do Scrumban, right? But capacity planning. So many people say that is so unnecessary, and why are you asking us to do that in a Kanban-esque type of world? But let me tell you something. Time is time. Folks only have so much capacity to do anything. So why not be intentional? One of the things that my people say is, if you don't tell your money where to go, your money will tell you where it went. I also like to say the same thing applies to time. If you don't tell your time where to go, your time will tell you where it went. And then you'll find that it wasn't on the most valuable things, the most productive items that you could have worked on, right? So you do want to be intentional, because you'll find within any given iteration, whether or not that's a 1 week, 2 week, or 1 month iteration or sprint, the capacity you thought you have, when you start breaking that down into unproductive time and meetings and vacation or blackout periods, you really only end up with about 30, maybe 50, 60% of your time that you can dedicate to planned work. So why not know that, so that you can manage the expectations of your business partners, and thereby minimizing the anxiety of team members with feeling like they have to get everything done right now. I'm going to pause there, and then we'll start back up with part 2 in a little bit. Thanks.